What's up, everybody? What's up, entrepreneurs? And welcome to The Real About Entrepreneurship. I am Lamika, and this Sunday, I am so excited that I'm like fanning out because my guest today is a YouTuber that I follow. Some of you guys may know that I got Sister Locks, and so I was following her for Sister Locks, but then I just connected with what she talked about and her delivery. And then she started talking about entrepreneurship. And I was like, wait a minute, I have got to talk to you. So I actually reached out to her and very nervously to ask her if she would be on my podcast. And so, or on my, I guess I'm speaking into existence, a podcast, but to ask her if she would be on, come on live and have a conversation with me about her journey as an entrepreneur and her experience of deciding to leave her 9 to 5 and going full time in her business. So my guest today is Pauline Walker of Untoile Beauty. I am so excited to have her on, and y'all know I got this software and I'm still getting used to it, but we're going to bring on Pauline, and we got Pauline on. All right. So Pauline, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So I don't even know if you heard my introduction. I tell the people all the time that,
I did.
yeah. So go ahead. You're gonna do way better than I am. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about who you are and your business.
Awesome. And we're going to speak that podcast into existence. We're going to claim it, okay?
Yes.
Because that's a future. But everyone, hello. I am Pauline Walker with Untoile Beauty and Wellness. I am a master cosmetologist, loctician. I started my business about almost a decade, little under a decade ago. When I quit my job, I was still trying to figure things out, but I've been able to figure things out as I go. But right now, I am solely a loctician. I coach, and I do consultation for different individuals, and pretty much helping people along their journey of this entrepreneurship world. So that's pretty much what I do, and that's pretty much my business.
Awesome. Yeah. So I was telling them that obviously I found you because I was watching your YouTube channel, and your YouTube channel is everything. So before I ask you about your YouTube channel, I guess tell us, how did your entrepreneurial journey start?
Okay, so I've been at the corporate job that I left. I literally started from after I left college. I was out of work for about 3 months after leaving college, and then I finally got a job, and I was there for almost a decade. Literally, a couple of months would have made it a decade before I quit, but I was there almost a decade, and I was really struggling with being there. I was excited initially, but after a while, it was just like, I don't know if this is for me. I think I've outgrown this part of my life, and I was itching for something new. I was itching for something different. I didn't know what it was, but I knew a change needed to happen because I was no longer happy where I was. Um, I was desiring other things, and I was realizing that I'm not an employee. I don't know what it was, but I did not. And being an employee to me didn't seem like it was my calling. Um, Even before I decided that, okay, I'm going to quit this job, before deciding that, I was looking for another job. And even in the process of looking for another job, you know how when you're just really not into something, and I was looking and I was like, this is not what I really want to. But I realized I was doing it to appease my husband, because he was just like, you just need to get another job. And I'm like, but I don't want another job. I don't want to be an employee. So I literally decided that, okay, I'm not going to stay here. I know isn't an option. So I need to figure it out. So when I quit, I had two options, okay? Because I'm coming from a customer service background. I'm also coming from a training background. So I thought, oh, okay. At one point, I was helping struggling restaurants with customer service, with the customer satisfaction aspect. Then but I also was doing, I had, before I quit my job, I've taken a class to learn how to do locks. And
Mhm.
so I started doing locks on the side before quitting my job. So I was kind of dibbling and dabbling in different things, trying to figure out what is it that I really want to do, and what is
Mhm.
it that's going to give me the most success. So I think with both of them, I kind of just did both until when I finally quit my job, I just 100% just started focusing on the hair aspect. And so that's pretty much how that started, how the whole Antoine Beauty came about, because I was just ready for something different. And the reason why I got into hair, when I was 14, I started doing hair. I did that up until I got to college. When I got to college, I stopped so I can focus on college. And
Mhm.
then when I left to go to college, I was excited to, get into corporate America. And I did that and realized, oh, this is not for me. But I needed to be there for those 10 years because you learn so much that is going to be helpful in your entrepreneurship journey.
Mhm.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, did it answer my question? I'm like, oh, yes, it more than answered my question. So because I mean, and that's good because I think getting that experience, you learn so much, in how to be able to work your own business by working in that corporate setting. So that part of it was important. So you said at 14 you were doing hair, so that's kind of what guided you back, or that's what kind of led you to create this brand.
Yes. Yes. I started when I was 14. I was doing more like braids, sew ins, dibbling and dabbling in a little bit of everything when it came to natural hair.
Hmm.
So, of course, by the time I went to college, I was burnt out because I was working for nothing pretty much. You know how you're the kid around the block. People would fly into town to come and get micro braids because I was the cheapest around and I was good. But people knew, oh, her prices are really good. So people were flying. But afterwards, after a while, I got burnt out. And when I went to college, I was like, I'm not doing hair anymore. I just want to leave that behind. But as I got older, I realized it's because I wasn't paid well. I didn't manage
Hmm.
time. I didn't set boundaries. So of
Hmm.
course, if you don't do those things, you start hating what you do when you really don't really hate what you do.
Hmm.
But when I went to college, I decided I'm not doing any hair. So when the few heads that I did, it was just friends. And then when I left college to go to corporate America, I was just doing friends' hair, and that's it. And so I knew when I started doing hair, I didn't want to do all types of hair. I
Okay.
wanted to niche down. And so I niched down to doing locks because I felt like that was more my speed. And I wanted to focus on one thing and really mold and build that one thing.
Wait, so how did you go to college and decide that you're not going to do hair? Like that is, I was looking for you. Right.
So let me tell you what happened. I grew up in Miami, Florida. So I went to college in Gainesville, Florida. So that removed me from my environment. So I have a hard time telling people no. So with me going away, I felt like, I was getting away from everything.
Yeah.
I was going to a new place where no one really knew I did hair
Ah,
unless you were there with me. No one knew. So I was able to escape that. And it
okay.
felt great.
Okay. No, you know what? That makes sense. That makes sense because I have a cousin that she would braid my hair. And I did make sure I paid her nicely because I didn't want her, because I was like, girl, why you're going to college? Why are you not doing this in college? And now you have given me some insight into probably why she decided that that's not what she wanted. I'm like, you could make so much money, but that's not what she wants to
But
do.
college people are broke.
I mean, but see me, I was like, okay, but your target is not the girls in your target is me. You need to find the me where you're going so that I mean, I was paying her. I was but now I understand now better as to kind of like why she didn't want to do it. Okay, so that makes completely sense. Okay, so
Yeah.
you got out of college, you got into the corporate, and so you said training. So how has that training helped you in your business now?
Okay. So when I went into corporate America, I was just in one department, and you know how moving into different departments, you learn different things. So I came in the customer service side, but I also like the analyst side. But they didn't want too much of this in the analyst side.
Right, right.
So, which is the reason why I left. But going back, um, I once they realized my talent, they asked me to lead a team. And I did that and I enjoyed it. And then that continued to grow. And then at one point, they were opening up a location in Canada. And they were like, can you go to Canada and train? And at the time, I was like, what? Canada? For how long? And can my husband come with me? Because I'm not going to be, there that long. But they're like, yep, you can take him. We'll pay for the both of y'all to go, all that. So I was able to manage a team, um, help with the training department, go to, different country to help with their training and establish, different opportunities for the company.
Mhm.
And so from there, I realized, okay, I really like to train. But at the same time, I didn't want to continue training for the company because all the politics and the logistics, it was not for me.
Mhm.
So although I didn't go into training right away when I started my business, I just wanted to be able to understand my craft. So, like I said, I took a class to learn how to do locks. I wanted to focus on doing the locks. And so I just continued to build my clientele. Once I
Mhm.
got enough clientele, understood the logistics and the ins and out of managing lot clientele, then I felt comfortable enough to train people. And the training didn't come just, oh, I just want to train. People kept pursuing me. People kept asking me, can you train me? Can you train me? Can you help me? I see you love giving information. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And I thought to myself, oh, okay. So it's just doing different things and just saying yes more to different opportunities that took me down this. Now I have a membership program where I'm coaching and training people in that membership program. I
Mhm.
do one-on-one coachings for individuals, and it's all because people were asking, there were a need, and I just said yes to the need.
Mhm.
So that's pretty much how I got into the whole training of others.
Okay, I like that. And so I heard you say something before is that you knew that working corporate is not where you wanted to be. So, one, there are many people that feel that way, but they don't take the action on doing on the steps like what you took. What made you take the action? What was it that made you take the action towards knowing that this isn't what I want to do, so I'm going to do something about it?
So I think a lot of people, when they start disliking their current place, they stop performing. Um, I'm very big on I'm going to give you my best no matter what. Even if I don't like it, I'm going to give you my best until I give you, the peace sign. So I decided when I realized I saw other people who were there, who were older, and who just felt stuck. And
Mhm.
their excuse was, Pauline, you're young, you can do it. I'm old, I can't. It's too late for me. I don't have the education that you have. And if my education is not that great, okay? Like, but I heard all the excuses. I don't have the education that you have. I'm not young. I'm not good with people. I heard all the excuses. And then the majority of the women that were there were on some type of medication, anxiety medication, depression medication to help them do their job,
Mhm.
to help them to show up. And I'm like, I don't want that to be my story. I don't want to have to get on some type of anxiety, depression medication just to show up to work.
Mhm.
So when I realized, okay, this wasn't for me, I still give my job my all. I
Mm-hmm.
still performed. I still excelled in what I did. Because, baby, you're going to miss me when I leave. Because I don't want them to feel like, oh, I'm glad you're gone now.
Right.
I want them to feel like, oh, you're leaving us? Because I wanted to make sure I left my mark. And I feel like you have to, in anything, you want to leave on good terms because you might never know where you'll meet these individuals or who can help
Mm-hmm.
you in the long run. You don't want to burn bridges. So I
Absolutely.
made sure I left on good terms. I made sure that I still performed and gave my all when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
But while I was doing that, I'm very like, okay, what I'm going to do. I'm a planner. What is going to do? So when I realized I didn't want to be there, one, I didn't want to be there. Two, I thought to myself, okay, let me give it a try and switch to a different department. I love numbers. I'm an analytical person. So I thought to myself, let me switch over to the analyst side where I won't have to manage a team. It'll just be me and a computer and some reports, okay? Because I
Mm-hmm.
love reports. I love numbers. I love, I love all of that. But there was no one my color in that industry, in that department.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew it would be a challenge. So I went and taught myself, trained myself in the different programs that they were already using, the different softwares
Mm-hmm.
that they were using to kind of get a heads up. So you cannot just deny me of just, oh, you're not trained, you don't have the skills. So they trained and everything. They trained me, and I did extra training on my own. And then towards the end, they just went with someone else without telling me anything, without communicating anything. And so, of course, I was like, okay, well, you know what? That's my sign. God didn't want me in that, that door closed. Let me know that's not what God want. That's not where God wants me to be. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, next step. I had already taken this law course doing hair on the side because I'm a big proponent of you have to have more than one streams of income.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing hair on the side, a couple of clients here and there because I realized, okay, if something happens, I need something to fall back on.
Mm-hmm.
And doing hair was it. I already had that skill, so let me just do that. So I started doing that, and when I realized I wanted to leave, I was like, okay, let me start building my clientele. I came up with a spreadsheet. How much money do I need to save? How many clients do I need? At what point can I quit uh, give them my resignation? And I had to talk to my husband because he wasn't comfortable with me leaving. Anytime you're making a big decision, faith, you have to have faith.
Mm-hmm.
Fear will creep in, but your faith has to be stronger than that fear because it will cripple you from moving. And if you let that fear get in your head and manifest, it is going to be hard to take the next step. So when I told my husband I'm ready to leave, he was more scared than I was. And I was like, okay, I can't have the both of us being fearful. Okay. We both can't be all scared. I need somebody to, you know, hold it down. So he was like, I said, what is going to make you feel comfortable for me to say goodbye to my current job? He said, well, if we have 6 months of income saved up, I'll be okay. I said, okay, no problem. That's all you need to tell me. So now I started increasing my clientele. I started hustling. I was literally going to work from 9. I started at 9, ended at 5:30. I would get home by 6, and I would start working, doing hair from 6, and I would give myself till 2 in the morning to do hair. And I figured, okay, how many clients do I need? How many clients do I need to do a day? And what can I do? And I started connecting and networking with other people. I met this salon owner. I told her she was looking for people to mentor. I was like, please mentor me. I will work for free. I just need an opportunity because once you see my work, he will be pleased and he will pay me. And that's exactly what happened because I knew my work was good. I was
Mm-hmm.
already doing this, so that building on that, getting that, building those clientele, tracking my numbers, y'all numbers. I was tracking these numbers. Okay. I had to reduce my lifestyle. I wasn't getting my nails done every 2 weeks like I wanted to. I wasn't eating out with my girlfriends all the time like I wanted to. I had to cut back just so I can meet this 6 months of income saving so I can. It took me about 6 months to do that. And at the end of the year, I was able to give them my resignation letter in 2015. And
That
so that's
is
pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that, like Jessica said, correct, the numbers don't lie, and way to strategize and take action, because so many people will leave on that faith and the faith alone, and they don't have a plan for how that's
Have
going
a
to
plan and you
happen.
got to have the action.
You got to have a plan of action. So and that's what I think you talked about that in one of your videos, and that's when I was like, oh, I have to talk to her, because so many people don't talk about the strategy part. They just up and say, oh, I left my job and now I'm making, all these hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. And the fact that you broke down like, no, this is what I did. This is the conversation that I had with my husband. And, these are things that a lot of people don't think about when they make that jump. So you made the jump. Your husband was fearful. What was that support system like? Because that's the other thing you and I were talking about before we started, is like, you can't do it alone. So what type of support did you need, so that you could, feel comfortable on going out and starting this?
So I had to reach out to other people who were doing the things that I was striving to do. Because everyone around me, if someone's not on that mind level as you, they can easily discourage you and hold you down. Mm-hmm. Like my coworkers who knew that I wanted to leave, they were too scared to leave. They didn't have a plan. Although they didn't want to be there, they didn't have a plan. They were too scared. So of course they're looking at me like, wow, you're leaving? Oh, girl, you ain't scared? Oh, what you gonna do? And then my husband on the other end, he's amazing and ready to support me and everything. But he was like, oh, honey, like, okay, so basically he's like, how do you know it's going to work out?
I know.
And I'm like, no, I just know if this don't work out, something else is going to work out,
Right.
So I had to kind of rally myself around other like-minded, other people who are already doing what I wanted to do. So since I knew I wanted to go into the hair industry, I met with this lady and we connected. I worked for her. She mentored me and eventually started paying me. And she was telling me, Pauline, is so possible because I've been where you are, where you are now. She was telling me, I quit my job to do this full time and I have not looked back since. So you will be okay. Just do what you need to do. So I had people in my circle who already done it. So you have to surround yourself by people who you aspire to be. If you're surrounding yourself by people who are not trying to do anything, who are not trying to take any steps, you're going to stay right where you are. But if you're surrounding yourself by people who you aspire to be, who motivate you, who encourage you, then it's so much easier. It's not going to be, like easy peasy, but right. It makes the walk easy.
Yes.
Share that you said that a lot of people talk about their journey like, oh, I quit my job and now I'm making 6 figures, 7 figures. People always leave the in-between stuff. And that's what I like to share with people, that in-between stuff. You're going to cry. Like, let me tell you, when I left my job, although I was very confident and ready to go, Monday, I left that Friday. Saturday, Sunday, I was like, ooh, I don't have a job to go to. I'm not tied down anymore. I was excited. Monday morning came, my heart was, oh, I can't believe I quit. Oh my God, did I really do that? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. All right. You're going to have that moment where you're like, what the heck did I do? Did I make that right decision? Oh my goodness, what's up? You're going to have that moment, no matter how much you plan, no matter how secure you feel. You're going to have that moment like, did I make the right move? Am I going to be okay? But then you got to talk to your mind and you got to talk to people and keep moving. Keep surrounding yourself by people, keep who are doing what you want to do. Talk to the friends who are going to encourage you and remind you of who you are. Because sometimes we forget. We forget who we are. We forget what we're capable of. So surround yourself by those people who are going to lift you up, who are going to say, "Girl, you got this." So that's pretty much. Don't get caught up with other people's stories, but you don't know the ins and outs. You don't know the tears
Mhm.
that was shed to get there. You don't know the sacrifices that was made to get there. All you know is this: oh, this person making a six figures, seven figures, and they just left their job. Well, I'm gonna leave my job too. No, it does not work
No.
like that.
It does not work like that. You definitely have to have the backstory. And again, that's what I loved about your video is because you told the in between. And that's the good part. And that's what I always like to share because I've jumped out there and I've left corporate before. And I actually love my job. And so I'm in no rush to leave corporate. So I always tell people it's a stream of income and make sure you use that stream of income wisely. Now I get everybody doesn't like their job, so I'm always reminded of that. Lamika, everybody doesn't have love their job the way you do, and so to that I say, okay, go and find something that you do like, and then people say, well, Lamika, I've got a family, I'm this age. It's kind of like what you were saying about the reasons why they came back to you as to why they couldn't leave, and so. I just love the fact that you took action on your idea. You didn't let the fears of your coworkers stop you from moving forward in your business. So now, as you like to say, you are my virtual loctician because I come to your channel. I didn't know what I was doing. By the time I found you, I had already gotten my locks, but I was good with it. And so when I found your channel, I just resonated with the way you shared information. And this was even before I saw your videos about entrepreneurship. It was just the way you were talking about your business and how you were educating people. So I can completely see the training aspect coming through. And so not only are you a loctician, but you are a consultant. So are you a consultant to other locticians or are you a consultant? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so I mentor and other locticians who are either wanting to scale their business or who just need to be able to just grow in their clientele, grow in their knowledge, grow in their scale. So I definitely mentor different locticians. I also help individuals who are on their lock journey and need assistance with just increasing their knowledge, making sure they understand the journey that they're on. So I do offer coaching for those individuals as well because you have a lot of people who are like, I do my own hair, I want to start my own locks, I want to do it all by myself, I don't trust anybody to be in my head, but I need guidance. So I do offer guidance to those individuals as well. So whether you are a loctician needing guidance in growing and scaling your business, or an individual wanting information on the journey, the process, I consult both.
Awesome. That's good. As I was telling you before, I am not that girl. I am the girl that is going to come to you and I want you to. That's, that's what I told my loctician. I was like, look, I don't own products. I don't do anything. So I need you. I need all hands on deck because I'm not going to do any of it. So yeah. So in the comment section, Rolyn said that's true. People leave the middle part out. They only want to say what's glamorous. And yeah, because nobody wants to show you, and it's not even necessarily the failure. I always relate it back to MTV Cribs. I don't know if I'm dating myself by talking about MTV Cribs, but the one thing with MTV Cribs, I felt like it didn't show the struggle in between. It's just kind of like, hey, we here and then we got, the juices in the refrigerator all organized and the water and this is our home. I think Method Man and Redman was probably my most favorite episode because they were like, this how we live it. We not getting ready to go and rent nothing. So what made you create your YouTube channel? Because everybody says, oh, you need to be on social media, whatever. But what made you go out and create your YouTube channel?
So, and I always try to listen to the people around me because I'm the type of person where I'm not saying I need validation from other people, but I like to listen to other people because sometimes people see things in you that you yourself don't see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like the worst person that can go into an interview and you know that part where they say, "So tell me about yourself." I hate that question
I'm like, what
because
is
that
it?
tells that tells me I have to tell you all the stuff that I'm great at. And sometimes I don't know, I don't sit and take the time to pay attention to all of that. So I tend to listen to the people around me because I'm a mover and shaker. I'm a go, 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 go type of person. I don't always sit down with my thoughts and sit down and analyze how great or amazing I am in different things.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember when I started locking people's hair and my clients would have questions. And if it's something that needed a visual, because I'm a visual person and I like to explain things and break things down. And so I would send them many videos on whatever their question was. And they're like, oh my God, Pauline, you're so great at this. You should create a YouTube channel. And of course, I was like, no, no, absolutely no. People have been telling me this since 2015. I was like, absolutely not, because from y'all see social media. Social media can be brutal at times. They can be mean. And I was like, I'm not trying to subject myself to this type of negativity or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that because I don't have time for people to be coming at me, talking bad about me, doing this, doing
Mm-hmm.
that, yada yada. And then so fast forward to 2020, people were like, Pauline, we could have really used you doing this during this shutdown because you have so much knowledge, you have this, you have that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started just taking myself out of the equation and stop concerning myself with what people would think about me, how people will feel about me, and start thinking about the needs of my community.
Mm-hmm.
People needed help with their journey. They needed inspiration, they needed guidance. And so, and people kept telling me, Pauline, there aren't any channels on YouTube that is helping people with all of that, so we need you. And I thought to myself, okay, let me put myself aside and think about my community and provide them what they need to help them along their
Mm-hmm.
journey, because so many people cut their locks off during the shutdown, a COVID shutdown. So many people were like, I'm done with this. I can't get my hair done, so I'm cutting these locks off. And I thought to myself, oh no, I hated that people ended their journey because they didn't have the help or the support that they needed.
Mm-hmm.
So I was still, although I was ready, I was still reluctant. And then I remember, because, I didn't want the negative feedback, because I'm like, what about if someone thumbs down my channel or my video? What if they put a nasty comment in my, like, girl, just keep it moving. I'm like, my skin ain't that tough, honey. I'm a Scorpio. I'm sensitive about my stuff, my craft. So I can't just keep it moving when somebody's just, on my channel acting a fool. And they're like, girl, block, keep it moving.
That.
Ignore, keep it moving. Okay. So then I remember it's this channel that I'm subscribed to on YouTube. It's called the Daily Effective Prayer. And all this man does is pray for people. And people still thumbs down the channel, the video, or whatever it is. They had a lot of likes, but they still had few people who would give them a thumbs down on a video. And I thought to myself, hold up, wait a minute. If this man who is praying for people, encouraging people, and inspiring people can put videos out there and still people are still giving him a thumbs down,
Mm-hmm.
it's a them problem, not a him problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, you know what, Pauline? You're going to have negative Nancy's out there no matter what you put out, no matter how great your content is, no matter how inspiring you are, you're always going to have people who dislike themselves, who are not happy with themselves. So they have to go and do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought to myself, you know what? If this channel is getting thumbs down and, just crazy comments, then I'm good. I will go ahead and start a YouTube channel. And if I get the negative comments, if I get the thumbs down, it is a part of the process. Not 100% of people is not going to like you, and it's okay. So I started my YouTube channel in 2021, And I'm telling you, it is more uplifting with the comments from the community than it is more positive than negative. You might have one or two people who will say something crazy, but for the most part, the majority of it is very encouraging. People are happy that I'm on there helping them out. And that's all I want to do is help people along with their journey, help them to love their journey, help them to embrace who they are because so many for so long we're told that our hair isn't desired. Our hair isn't great. It's not beautiful. It's not that. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to say, no, stop having this negative appearance about yourself. See yourself for who you are. Beautiful. Your hair is beautiful. Your hair is it's life. So many people go and imitate this. We
Mm-hmm.
over here trying to imitate other people's hair, but the culture, everybody is trying to imitate our hair. Everything comes back to us. So why should we be ashamed or discouraged about how our hair curls, how our hair sits on top of our head?
Mm-hmm.
Why? We should
Mm-hmm.
love it and embrace it. And so that's pretty much how the YouTube channel came about. My clients kept encouraging me and I took the leap, and since then I love it. YouTube is one of my favorite platforms to be on. And I think it's because I can actually talk. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, TikTok, they give you about 2 seconds to do something, but on YouTube you can really just go on and just share and talk and help, and then you get the feedback. I just love it. So
Yes. No, and no, that makes sense because for one, it took me forever to get on YouTube. I've known for years that YouTube is where I needed to be, but and I actually made a video about this. Hair was one of the reasons why I did not do it because I was like, oh, and I always wanted my hair to be perfect. If the wind didn't blow and my hair didn't blow, like I'm not getting ready to go out here. I am that person, okay?
yeah.
And so I was the person, and as soon as I went to the gym, because my hair was natural, I would press it. And as soon as I would go to the gym, like that flow that I had, it was gone. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of it. And I had given so much power to the fact that if I go work out, then I'm not going to be able to do my videos. I'm not going to be able to get on camera. And so it held me back a whole lot from starting my
Mm,
YouTube channel.
mm.
And my boyfriend said this, and he was like, literally, is that the reason why you did not start? Like, yes. He was like,
Girl,
that cannot be it. I'm like, that really is it. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. But that is
I
true.
get it
It's
though. I get it. Because when I started YouTube, I felt like I had to be perfect.
mhm,
After then I realized, Pauline, if you're trying to be perfect before before every video or on every video, you're not going to post as often as you needed to. When I started,
mhm.
I was posting 2 to 3 times a week. So I don't wear makeup like that. I don't like makeup like that. I wear it here and there, but I'm not your everyday makeup wearer. So I was like, I felt like I had my first few videos. If you go on, you see my face. I got makeup on, and it's not like no huge like fleek type makeup, whatever you want to call it. I just had foundation, mascara. Got my lips done, pretty much how I
Mhm,
look right now, right?
mhm.
I did that for a couple of videos, and I thought to myself, I can't keep doing this. Then I decided, y'all just gonna have to accept me raw in my natural state. I just, if I have a bump, if I'm breaking out, I'm sorry. Do y'all want this information, or do y'all want to sit and focus on how she came on here with no makeup? I didn't care about my hair because I'm locked, and so it's always done. But the makeup piece, I'm like, man, y'all not gonna see me in makeup every day. So I stopped wearing makeup because I was like, y'all just gonna have to like me how I am. So when
Mhm.
y'all see me on the streets, y'all not confused about, is that Pauline? Y'all know exactly what I look like, okay?
Right.
And I didn't
Right.
want that to stop me showing up, because
Mhm,
that is what hinders people sometimes. They can't show up because they feel like they're not put together.
mhm,
And I didn't want to make people feel like they had to be put together to show up. Just
mhm.
show up. That's it. Just
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the part I love that you did that, because it shows other people that you don't have to be put together perfectly to do that. I know one of the mentorships that I'm in, that's his videos, or being in his mentorship, actually moved me. Finally was the don't push me over the edge situation that I needed to start my channel, because he just uploaded his videos. He was just talking. He gave us information. He was like, I don't do any edit. I didn't do anything, because I wanted people to feel like, they didn't need any fancy camera. I just got my iPhone and I'm just talking into my phone and I just upload it. I don't do any editing. So I appreciate that. So one of my top supporters, Being Real, he says, could Pauline help me with my hairline and overall appearance? Joe, no, she cannot. I so appreciate you being here, Being Real. That he helps me with my real estate. He keeps me together. So I appreciate you coming in today, Joe. I appreciate that. And then Jessica says that thumbs down to the prayers. Hilarious, but and so truthful. You right. We cannot please unhappy people who are unhappy with themselves 100%. So I am so excited with these comments over here. So we got people in. Make Smart Money Moves says, great live. Glad I'm listening. Lots of inspiration. Success is within reach, within one's reach if you put in the work. Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, because putting in the work, putting in the work is interesting. And you decided to do locks. So what a lot of people say, well, I don't have the capital to start my business. How did you fund your business? What type of funding is needed to start your business? Because I know now you have products and that kind of thing. So you've expanded.
Mm-hmm. So what I did, when you're starting a service-based business, you don't really need a lot of capital to start, because yourself is you're the product. Mm-hmm. So for me, all I needed was my home. Because I started in my home. I started doing hair in my home. So in 2015, I started doing hair in my home, and I eventually found someone to mentor me, and I also worked in her salon. So I was working in two places. I was working out of my home, also working in her salon. Mm-hmm. I didn't need anything to start, if that makes sense. I didn't need any capital to start. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So when I started doing hair, I started saving, because baby, taxes, that's another story for another day, because taxes, whoo, that's another thing. No one talks about taxes and how they take all your money. No one talks about that. They just talk about, oh, I made 6 figures, not really saying that taxes take about 30, 40, 50% of that. But right. Anywho, we're going to move on. So I didn't need any capital to start doing hair, because I was just using my skill, and that's it. Now, when I decided to venture, I became a loctician first, and then I decided to go to cosmetology school. And because I did hair, I was able to fund my own schooling to go and get my cosmetology license. So that I paid myself out of pocket, didn't have to do anything. Mm-hmm. After that, of course, by the time I was done with that, it's kind of depleted my income. So I started making, once I was done, I was back making the amount of money that I needed. And then I moved into a salon suite. Mm-hmm. So my income for doing hair was able to fund me moving into my salon suite, me providing products. So when I decided to come out with my own product line, me doing hair helped funded me getting my own product line going. So that pretty much, the hair piece, the products. And once I did the products, the hair piece also funded all my doing, getting training and coaching for building courses, because I offer online courses as well. Mm-hmm. And once you start doing all of that, you have to pay for the platform, you have to pay for the train. There's a lot of things you have to pay for. So the mm-hmm. hair part, physically doing hair, was able to fund the product piece and the course piece. Now, when I did decide to seek out funding, most companies will not give you any money They will give small businesses money, but what you don't realize is you have to make at least 100,000 for them to give you anything. If I were making $100,000, I wouldn't need you. Like, why do I have to make 100,000 before you can give me something? But they just want to make sure that you got enough money to pay them back.
Right.
They want to see that you're responsible. They want to see that business has some type of longevity, some type of commitment. So that is why they do that. But you do need about 100,000, 200,000 to get some type of funding from business, from banks. Like my business, for my business account is with Bank of America. So I was able to get a business credit card, but as far as a business loan, you need about 100K before they can even give that to you. Now, once you reach that 100K, baby, they all in your DM. We have a loan for you. We can do. Now I don't need y'all right now. I don't need y'all. I got it. I got it. I done took care of it because when I needed y'all wasn't there. I got it now. You know. But if you, a lot of people don't use these. I know a lot of small business, they tend to not want to use transaction companies to process their transactions. Those are great companies to use, like Square, PayPal, because once your business starts generating some type of revenue, it doesn't even have to be 100K. Before I even hit 100K, they were offering me small loans, and the percentage that you have to pay on it is very low, and it's not a monthly interest. You just pay a small amount, and they give you this loan, and they take that money out with every transaction before you even see it come in. So you don't really feel like you're missing anything. So I did a lot. I got funding from Square, PayPal, they come in, offering me something, but I don't need it now because like I've already funded myself for most things, but Square was definitely helpful. So look into those for funding. Square, PayPal, use their services because they will give you funding even if you're just making $20, $30, $40,000 a year. But I hope I answered.
No, that you did answer it.
Okay, because it's pretty much most of the stuff I funded myself, but I had to be really good with my money to be able to fund certain things.
Oh, absolutely, because that's always the thing that people ask me, and because for me, one of the businesses that I started, actually all of the businesses that I've started up until this recent one have been capital intensive. And I'm like, Lamika, stop creating these capital intensive businesses. Because one of the businesses that I have is called Height Goddess. It's a lifestyle brand for tall women. And I started out, making clothing. And it was, and I was creating, I was creating everything. So I was buying the raw goods. I was buying the fabric. I was buying the notions. I was, it was my pattern. So we were making everything. And so it is capital, it is capital intensive. But for somebody that, going back to what we talked about earlier, what are some tips that you would share for somebody that says, I want to start my business. I don't know exactly what I want to do. What are some tips that you would suggest that they do for them to work their way to figuring out what type of business they want to have?
Yeah, I did a YouTube video on just helping people figure out what it is that they want to do. Because when I left corporate America, I didn't 100% know what I wanted to do. I mentioned earlier that doing pretty much customer service for small restaurants, going in and auditing their services and their processes and different things like that to see where they can better, be better. Because you hear a lot of times, oh, Black businesses are not professional. Black businesses need help with customer service. They don't have any customer service skills and different things like that. And I know I came from a company that customer service was like strong. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take my knowledge. I'm going to take everything important to the Black community. You come across where not everybody want to be helped.
They don't.
So when I saw that, although they appreciate the information, either they don't want to be helped or they don't want to pay for the service. So I did enjoy that, but at the same time, I needed to get paid. I couldn't keep doing, and I did a lot of free work. I would go to different restaurants. I would go and audit. And they wouldn't even know I was auditing them. I would just go in. For some places, I would go in, and from beginning to end, I'm observing everything. So I was helping them with their, and once I observed everything and went through the whole process, I would send them a report telling them about, here's where they can do better in their customer service, here with where they can get better with what is it, I can't think of the word right now, but just their, I'll have to get back to that when I can think about it, but just really helping them with their process. Is it process improvement? Helping them with their process, so and not look so, I don't know. I remember there was one restaurant I went into. Why is the cook coming through the front door where customers are coming in with meat in his hand that you about to go cook in the back and do it? I was like, listen, we got to do better, So my heart was for helping small Black businesses, restaurants, helping them with just their process, doing a lot of process improvement and structure. I was doing all of that, but it was for free. And even when you send them the report, it's like, oh my God, thank you so much. This information is so awesome. When can you come in and help? And so then I started going in and doing training for their employees and helping them with customer service satisfaction, helping them with customer service delivery and everything else. They loved it, but don't want to pay for it. So I was like, okay. So then I was also doing hair on the side, and I'm an introvert. So the main reason why I gave up the whole customer service processing for small restaurants is because my mentor at the time wanted me to go door knocking and doing all this stuff to ask for sponsorship, to go and pretty much not beg, but talk to these small businesses about what they need and why they should hire me. I don't want to have to convince people. I hate that. I hate constantly having to prove myself. And I'm shy, so I don't want to have to go door knocking, doing all that stuff. So I was like, you know what? Although I enjoy helping people in that sense, this is not for me. So then with hair, I can do hair, and you go walk around. I never, when it came out to hair, I never had to go up to someone. Here's my business card. If you need someone to do your hair, I'm your girl. I never had to pass out a flyer. I never had to give out a business card. My work spoke for itself. So when I did someone's hair, people saw it and, oh my God, your hair is amazing. Give me the number of whoever did your hair. And that's pretty much how I grew my clientele. It was word of mouth. People saw it, they liked it, and they booked. And then when I got on social media, I displayed my work. People saw it, contacted me, and I never had to go after people. So I think that kind of helped me with like, okay, I'm going to do this, because I didn't like the whole convincing part and door knocking and all that cold call sale. I'm not a salesy person.
Right.
So it was hard for me. So I think some of the steps you have to take, you just have to observe, like, what makes you happy? Because sometimes we could be good at something, but does it bring joy to you? I was good at helping people, the customer service piece, but I didn't like all the steps and processes that I had to do to convince them that this is what they need and everything else. I didn't like all that extra stuff, that sales part of it. And it's with doing hair, there is a sales part to it, but my work kind of did the selling for me. I didn't have to physically go and talk to people. Here's a flyer. Here's this. Come to me. I didn't have to do all that hunting. So you have to pay attention to what you enjoy, but at the same time, what is the work that you're willing to put in? What am I willing to do to achieve what it is that I wanted to attain? I had to say yes more to different things. When you know you want to do something different, but you don't know what it is, say yes more to different opportunities, because you will never know until you try it. Right? So you have to say yes. and then do it. And then once you do it, you might find, oh, I like this, but I don't like that. I like this, but I don't like that. And that's the same thing that happened with the whole restaurant thing. I love the training portion of it. I love helping people, but I didn't like all the extra step that came along with it. So I was able to still take that skill and apply it to the
Mm-hmm.
lock business.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where I was able to operate in my superpowers. So I was able to, I saw, okay, I love doing this because one, I love the I did,
Mm-hmm.
but I also enjoy helping and pouring into people.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to say yes more. You have to, I think some of the other steps you have to consider is, are you willing to get a mentor? Sometimes we want to experience different things. We want to try different things, but we don't want to get mentors. We don't want to get help. You have to talk about what you're I see this a lot, especially in the Black community. I don't want to share my plans because I don't want people to steal my plans. Listen, if something is for you, no one can take it from you. You know how many times I have started something, shared my plans, and someone else go out and do it, and you know what happened? They fail because that's not what God had for them. It wasn't there. It wasn't what God intended them for them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Not that
Mm-hmm.
I wanted them to fail,
Right.
but it's just it's not for you. This is what God had for me. Take it and steal it and do whatever you want to, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
going to succeed if that's not what God had for you. Even if that person succeeds, it is they might succeed in a different area and
Mm-hmm.
they might reach a different audience than the audience you're going to reach. So
Mm-hmm.
don't get caught up with people stealing my ideas, people stealing, I don't want to share what I want to do because listen, talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying talk to everybody, but find people you can talk to and
Yes.
trust. And you might never know, you might be talking to somebody about this,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, have you ever thought about that too? And they'll
Mm-hmm.
add to the things you're thinking about. And sometimes our minds are limited. Someone who's already up there ahead of you will tell you, well, you should consider doing X, Y, and Z. And you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you so much. Because sometimes we want to do something and we're trying to go the long route doing
Right.
it. And someone step in and like, you know what, you could do X, Y, and Z in less time and you can succeed a lot quicker than. So don't be afraid to share your ideas and to share your thoughts because people are going to, there are genuine people out there that want to help. I know we think people are crazy, people don't want to help. That's the lie that Satan wants to feed you, okay? That's the lie that the social media and everything else
Mm-hmm.
want to feed you. People
Mm-hmm.
out here are willing to help, okay? So I hope that helped, but just be open more, say yes more, try new things because
Mm-hmm.
unless you try it, you're not going to know if you like it or not, if it's for you or not. And listen to the people around you because the people around you will see you before you even see yourself sometimes. They will see your superpowers. I tell people used to tell me that I was good at training and good at helping before I even knew I was. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Oh
So
yeah.
listen to people and take into those little nuggets, and before you know it, with you taking little steps, little steps, little steps, little steps,
Mm-hmm.
it is going to eventually lead you to where God is intended for you to be anyway. You're not going to get the full picture, but if you take these little steps,
Yeah.
you're going to eventually get there. And then when you look back, that picture is going to be so clear for you. And you're going to be like, oh, this is it. So hope
Oh
that
yeah.
helps.
No, no, that was very helpful. I guess my motto would be what you focus on is what grows. And so if that's where you are giving your energy, because I do have a lot of people that say, oh, I don't want to, I just had a conversation with one of my friends and she was saying, oh, I don't want to share this idea because, and she had had a bad experience. And I said, but you can't let that one experience stop you from moving forward. And so many of us
Absolutely.
do think that, if we share our idea out there, that it'll happen. I mean, for me with Height Goddess, before I ever had a name, I was in Miami that's how I came up with the name. I was in Miami and I was riding. I have like a notebook of like names of what I was gonna. It was like the tallest girl and all these kind of things, long legs and this kind of thing. But I'm riding and I wish I could figure out which street that was on. But I was riding down um, on somewhere in the Miami area, and I saw this store that said Goddess, and I thought, oh my God, it's Height Goddess. That is the name. Like I'm literally just riding down the street. So I came up with that name while I was on a business trip, and at the time, Nordstrom Rack had all these. They used to have these large size shoe events, and I noticed when I went there, all the women there were tall. So I thought, I got this name now. I'm literally writing on a piece of paper my name, my phone number, and I'm just telling people like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do this. But I wasn't afraid to share my idea. And so you just have to tell people what it is that you want to do because you never know who can help you. Something as simple as me reaching out to you to do this, have this conversation. I followed you on YouTube and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. So I thought, I'm going to shoot my shot. I'm going to send her a message and see if we can make this happen. And here we are doing it. But if I had never said anything, this would have never happened. And so a lot of times people don't take action behind, what they want to do because they're afraid of the no, or they're afraid that somebody's going to take our idea. But we have to operate in abundance. And when you're operating in abundance, you know that there's enough out here for everybody. And people always use the go down the bread aisle, and you have all these different brands of bread, and it's always coming out. And nobody thought, well, there's already bread over there, so I'm not going to create any. You just got to do your thing. And like you said, what God has for you is for you. I can give you my blueprint and it's still going to come out different because we're just two different people. And you gotta walk in your power and know that, what you're doing is for you. So what you shared, like I'm so happy that I reached out because I mean, I feel like the information that you've given is so tangible for someone to take the next step even while they're working, because so many people are like, oh, I work a full-time job and I just don't have time. Here is an example. Here is an example of someone that had an action plan and she worked it. So if you're watching this replay, make sure you go back and listen to what she said because she gave you the strategy of what she did to be able to work her plan. But before we wrap up, I know we talked about your consulting business and everything, but will you tell us again who your business is for, and when someone reaches out to you, what can they expect?
Yeah, so pretty much my business is for women, African American women who are interested in becoming a loctician or already a loctician, and they're looking to grow and scale their business. So if you reach out to me, whether you're looking to invest in a course, looking to join my membership, I help you scale and grow your business to whatever your goal is, because everyone's goal is different. So whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether it's grow your clientele, increase your income, and grow in your skill, the quality of work that you provide, I help with all of that as well. So
Nice. I like it. And so if someone reaches out to you, what can they expect? I guess how do they reach out to you, and what should they expect when they do reach out?
okay, so whether if you pretty much can reach out to me anywhere on social media, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Once you reach out to me, you can expect, depending on what you're reaching out for, because usually most of the time when you're reaching out, you can expect to have a consultation, because I do need to see that, we are a good fit, because you may not want to work with me. So that we are a good fit. So we do have, I do have consultation with people, because I got to see if I want to work with you as well. Because we, our purpose and everything has to align. So I want to make sure that we're a good fit. So do expect to have a consultation. If you are looking to, whether it is take one of my courses, you can expect to grow in your knowledge base, because there are a lot of courses out there, and you can choose from so many. But one thing you will expect with you can get from me is make sure that you have the knowledge and the technique behind it, because you can't just thrive off of just technique. You need to
Mhm.
have the knowledge and understanding the theory and everything else behind it.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. So this is my virtual loctician. I go to her YouTube page and I watch it all and I enjoy her content. And I recently got on her Instagram and she is hilarious, y'all. She is hilarious. And I just love it. So what are the ways I just mentioned? I found your YouTube, I mean your Instagram page today. So what are your social media handles for people to be able to follow you?
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everything Antoi Beauty, ENTOI Beauty, Antoi Beauty.
All right, did y'all hear that consistency? That consistency of what her social media handles are. So
Yes.
people, let's get consistent with our social media handles. You know, sometimes you got one thing over here and another thing over here, but she got consistency going on. I like that. Um, Pauline, I so appreciate you coming on to my channel and having this conversation. I even learned something before we got on, you know, having a bestie entrepreneur. And so I'm going to add you to my bestie entrepreneur list because, you know, as your video said, iron sharpens iron, and you've got to surround yourself with people that
Yes.
are doing what you want to do. And this is something that you shared earlier. So for those that are watching, make sure you surround yourself with people that will allow you to grow into what it is that you want to do. But before we go, Pauline, is there anything else that you want to share with the audience or those that'll be watching later on?
I just want to let people know that I am an open book. I am very open about just business. So if you ever need any help, need guidance, even if it's not about locks, I love entrepreneurship, love to talk about entrepreneurship, love to help people grow in any way possible. I love just sharing my knowledge. So if you don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions, you need help with anything, I am here. I can be anybody's beauty bestie or entrepreneurial bestie, because at the end of the day, we need one another. I know
Mhm.
some folks think I do this by myself. I don't need nobody. Don't believe that lie. We need one another, in order to grow and to succeed. You cannot be lifing or being an entrepreneur without a community. You need a community, and I'm happy to help anybody who wants to help. But you gotta take action. Like she was saying, you have to take action. I get people who reach out to me, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I'm giving you the blueprint, and folks just sit and wait. What you waiting on? Take action. When you take action, it just makes my heart happy. And I'm like, all right, what's next? I'm ready to move on to the next level. So I'm a mover. I'm a goer. So if you come into me for something, we moving, okay? We moving and we growing and we're not looking back. So I just want to let
Absolutely.
y'all know I am here. And I just want to let you know I'm so thankful for you, having me on the channel. She was talking about she was nervous to reach out to me. When she reached out to me, I was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. What do you want me to do? But I love this opportunity because I'm able to connect with other amazing women. Y'all, if you understand the power that we
Mhm.
have when we connect,
Yes.
you guys, listen, we can be unstoppable. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I thank you for having me on your YouTube channel. So
Yes.
awesome.
Absolutely. So I appreciate that. And like she said, when we connect, we are very powerful. Also, I'm an open book. That's what the Real About Entrepreneurship is about, is because I have had to pay for a lot of information, and a lot of it I already knew. And so I want to make sure that I am there for other entrepreneurs who are willing to take action. Like she said, don't come to me and ask me about something and then I follow back up with you and you have not taken any steps. Over here at The Real About Entrepreneurship, we are action takers. So if you are not an action
Yes.
taker, this is not the place for you, okay? Because it's time to get off the bench and we're going to put you in the game. So we appreciate it. Again, I appreciate everyone on the live. We got some great comments. Before we get out of here, I appreciate everybody coming on. Rolyn says, speak the truth. What's meant for you, nobody else can take it. And Jessica said, excellent live. Jessica is one of my business bestie, my bestie, my keep me together bestie. So I appreciate her being on the live. But until next time, guys, I appreciate you joining the live. If you have questions and you're watching the replay, definitely put them in the comment section because I do read those. And if I will answer it, and I will tell you if I don't know the answer and point you in the right direction. So I appreciate you joining this live. Again, I will have all of the information to reach out to Pauline in the comments. And until next time, peace.